Juicy Tube TV. The storm rolled in without warning, dark clouds swallowing the last rays of sunlight. Emma stood under the awning of a closed cafe, her silk blouse clinging to her skin from the unexpected downpour. She cursed softly, rummaging through her bag for an umbrella she already knew wasn't there. "Rough night," a voice drawled behind her. She spun around, startled. A man leaned casually against the doorframe, his leather jacket glistening with rain. He was tall, his dark hair dripping water onto his sharp cheekbones, and his eyes, smoldering and impossibly intense, bore into her like a secret waiting to be shared. "It's been better," Emma replied, her voice steadier than she felt. "Looks like you're stranded." His lips curled into a half smile. "Lucky for you, I have a car." Emma hesitated. Accepting a ride from a stranger? Probably not her best idea. But the rain was relentless, and something about his confidence, dangerous, magnetic, made her pulse race in a way that had nothing to do with the cold. "All right," she said finally, her voice softer now, "but no funny business." His chuckle was deep, the kind that felt like velvet against her skin. "Funny business? Wouldn't dream of it." The car was sleek, black, and surprisingly warm inside. He turned on the heater, and the soft hum of the engine filled the space as he pulled onto the road. "So, do you always rescue women in the rain?" she teased, trying to ignore the heat that spread through her as his hand brushed hers on the gear shift. "Only the ones who look like trouble," he replied, casting her a sidelong glance. Emma laughed, the sound light and unfamiliar in her own ears. She hadn't felt this alive in months, not since her careful, predictable life had started to feel more like a cage than a choice. The rain blurred the world outside, isolating them in their little cocoon. His fingers tapped rhythmically on the steering wheel, and she couldn't help but notice how strong they looked. Capable. "Where to?" he asked, his voice low, almost a murmur. Emma gave him her address, though part of her hoped the ride would last longer. When they arrived, she hesitated, her hand on the door handle. "Thanks for the ride," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. He leaned closer, the scent of rain and leather intoxicating. "You're welcome, but something tells me you're not ready to leave just yet." Her breath hitched as his gaze lingered on her lips. For a moment the world outside disappeared completely, leaving only the charged air between them. Without thinking, she closed the gap, her lips meeting his in a kiss that was both tentative and electric. His hand cupped the back of her neck, pulling her closer as the kiss deepened, igniting something in her she hadn't felt in years. When they finally pulled apart, both breathless, he smiled. "Funny business," she said, her voice trembling with equal parts nerves and exhilaration. "Couldn't resist," he replied, his grin unapologetic. Emma stepped out into the rain, her heart pounding as she watched his car disappear into the storm. The night felt different now, charged with possibility, the taste of his kiss lingering on her lips. And for the first time in a long while, she smiled, not caring that she was soaking wet, because sometimes a little unpredictability was exactly what she needed.
Don't forget to like and subscribe for more juicy content.